Hello everyone, I am Melissa with TCT Crafts, Designs and Decor. Today we're going to make this beautiful arrangement which would be perfect for Mother's Day, a bridal shower, a wedding, any type of event that you have. I think it turned out beautifully. Now I will note that I did add these two fuchsia or darker pink florals into the front after the video. So you won't see that on the tutorial, but I did get those added after I took my photos. I felt like I needed to bring a little bit more of the darker pink to the front. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and drop you down and we're going to get started. Hello, I am so ready to get started on this arrangement. This would be a beautiful Mother's Day, baby shower, wedding shower, any type of event arrangement. So what we're going to be using today for this design is just this metal urn. You can use whatever urn that you have available or container. It doesn't have to be an urn, it could be a bowl. But I'm just using this distressed white metal urn that we had in the shop. I don't know if it's still available. I think we might have sold out, so use whatever container that you have. The first thing we're going to be adding to this design is we're going to go in with a, and I cannot pronounce the name of this, Schefflera stem. These are really pretty blooms. They've got little white variegation on the edges, and they're just different. They're unique. So I like to add some kind of unique elements that you might not always see in some of my designs. And we're just kind of going to give these a bend. We may change the shape as we go. I'm going to leave this pretty tall. This is a tall container. So this container is about 9.5 inches. So, you know, general rule of thumb in floral design is to go, you know, probably 1.5 times your container. So that would 9.5 would be here, and then another half. So this is about the tallest I want to go. Of course, those are just guidelines. They're really, I say there's no rules in floral design. You are the artist. You make the piece exactly like you want it. And don't worry about rules. But generally speaking, for a guideline, you know, you want to stay within 1.5 to 2 times your container. So one thing I'm going to do real quick that I didn't do already is I'm just going to add a little bit of floral foam in here. By the time we get done, you're probably not going to see the foam, but just to be safe, I'm going to add some of my little fabric moss in here. I said floral foam. Y'all, I already have floral foam in here. So I use the Gaps and Cracks spray foam to spray my containers. You can also use floral foam if you prefer. I just like to get a can of the spray foam and spray all my containers and have them ready to go. And just easier for me. But you can use floral foam if you don't like to use the spray foam. So I'm just going to use a couple floral pins and just pin this moss in here. Like I said, by the time we get done, you're probably not going to see down in there, but just in case, we'll add a little bit of moss. All right. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to go in with our florals. It's going to be a pretty easy project. Just a few supplies. So we're going to be going in with these beautiful roses, this bright pink, and then we're going to kind of pop in a peony, a pink peony that's a softer pink that has a little bit of the dark on the inside. So that is how when I pair my florals, you want to bring in some of your colors and have a little bit of contrasting color as well. So this lighter pink has the darker pink, which ties into this. And then we're probably going to go in with a little bit of this snowball hydrangea. We'll see. I also have some scrap roses on my table from another project. We might pull those in as well. Not sure yet. We'll see how the design goes. I never really have a, I haven't, you know, I know what products I want to use, but I don't know how it's all going to turn out. I just kind of design as I go. So we're going to start with these beauties. This is a bundle. We do have these in the shop. Where are my other scissors? Here we go. We're going to get these added if I can get this little paper off of here. Okay, so this has two floral heads and a bud on it. I'm going to cut it down, and they actually have little fake thorns on them too, which is quite funny, but they do. They have little thorns on them, so they make them look very realistic. And I am going to get this right next to this stem here. And if you are making these for yourself or for an event that you want to pull this apart later, you don't have to glue. But because I sell and ship my designs, I always add glue to them just to kind of, hold them in place during shipping. But you do not have to add the glue if you are going to be maybe pulling these out. Okay, I'm going to get the other one. Now this one I am going to cut up. I left that one together. These I'm going to cut up so I can get them placed a little bit more where I want them. On the back side here, a little lower. Okay, and then I'm going to get this one. I'm going to put it right about here. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Let's go in now with our larger floral head, which is this peony. And let me see. I think I'm going to cut these up. Now these have really thick coating on the plastic coating on them. You can take a knife or scissors and you can cut this plastic off of here, and you'll be left with this little metal stem in there. So if it doesn't want to cooperate, you can cut them off. I'm going to try to keep them together. It does make it a little harder to work with when they have those thick stems on there like that, but we're going to make it work. Okay, so I have that one there. We have our little bud. I'm going to save my buds, I think, for last. Let me get another one here. And we do have, we sell the heavy duty floral cutters in the shop, and this is perfect for when you got these really thick stems. It cuts it like butter. So I'm going to keep that handy because I got another one of these that we might put in here. So makes it easier to cut. Okay, this one, let me see. I left it taller. I think I'm going to put it in the back. And if you have a hard time getting your stems in, just use a pair of scissors and you can create a little hole. Okay, so I have that one there. And now I'm going to go in with my last one, and we're going to go lower. We're going to go lower in the container. We're going to fill this section. We got a hole right here. We're going to fill this section in. And then we're going to go back with our little buds and get those added because we do not want to waste anything. So this one I know I'm going to go lower, so I'm going to cut the stem. I should have used my tool that I left over there, but that's okay. So see, I may have to use my scissors because we've got glue in here now, so it makes it a little, see if I can get it in there, a little tougher. All right, I had to go get me a drink of water. It's hot behind these lights, y'all. All right, our little buds. Now, because these have little bitty short stems, if I put that stem in there like that, it's going to be sitting right down in our container. So we're probably going to need to put it on a pick to get a little bit of height. On it. So I'm going to go ahead and I just have a floral pick machine, and I'm going to put 2 picks on it to give me some length. Okay. Got that bud a little bit taller. Now this one I want really tall, so we are gonna have to get creative. So if we have, let me see if I have a, can't even talk. Let's use one of our scrap stems. So I'm going to use one of my scrap stems, and we're going to get our floral wire, or not floral wire, our floral tape. So we're going to get some floral tape, and I'm going to tape this. I'm just going to wrap this around my little scrap stem here. I want some length on this, and these were little short little stems when I cut it. And even if I would have left it attached to the originals, it was lower. It would have still been low down on my on the flower. It was lower down on the flower. It still would have been too low in my container. So, all right, now I am going to get my thing out. And I want this bud right in here. Oh, there it goes. Thought I was going to have to get my scissors out. Okay, so that gave me height that I wanted for that, but there. Now our last one we're going to put in the back, or what I'm calling the back. It's going to be pretty all the way around. And again, I want a little bit more height than what I'm going to get with this little stem. So I'm going to get another scrap piece. And we're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, so I have that on there. I'm going to get my little bud bend forward. And I'm going to put this little guy right there. Okay, so I have that bud there. Now, we got to decide if I want to add some of these snowball hydrangeas in here, or if we want to do the roses. Let me play for a second. So you can see we add the little roses in there, kind of like that. And let's see, these hydrangeas have short little stems. If you cut it up, they got short little stems, so we're gonna have to do some some more work if we use these. So let me just kind of play. I kind of like the look of the hydrangeas over the roses, so we're going to go with the snowball hydrangeas. That one is not actually a bad placement, so I'm just going to go ahead and glue that in. I want a taller one right back here. So I'm going to see if I can pull these out. Whoops, I just chunked it, y'all. And then use this stem that it's already in. See how they just kind of all pull apart? I'm going to see if I can get this in here where we want it. I think that's going to work. And hit it with some glue in there. Okay, we're going to come around on the back side. Guess it would help if I cut the tag off, y'all. I'm going to have that one a little lower. I got a huge hole right here. So we're going to add, I'm going to get another one. I've got actually a partial here. Let's see if we can just use our little partial We're going to be adding more greenery back in here as well. I'm going to need to add this one on a stem. So again, I'm going to get a little scrap. You guys are new to my channel, welcome. I would love to have you subscribe and hit that little notification bell. If you are wanting to learn more about silk floral design, arrangements, centerpieces, swags, wreaths, all the things, that is what we teach here. We also sell supplies in our shop. So if you're just looking for good quality faux florals, that is what we offer. And our channel, I like to showcase those as well, especially when we get new products, so you guys can see them. So we would love to have you hit that little button and you'll be notified when we have new tutorials. Okay, we need one coming out on this side. We're getting a little wonky. Let's see, here's another partial. All right, now we're going to start filling in with some more of that, however you say it, schefflera. Y'all, I just play with the flowers. I don't know how to say them, okay? And then I also brought in some cottonwood ivy that we might, we have one little, y'all, I don't want to waste this little guy. So let me see where we can add him. I also brought in some ivy that we might use in this design. I almost feel like we need a piece kind of in between these pink flowers right here, which means we're going to need a long stem. So back to the trash can I go. Sometimes you got to make it work. Use those scrap stems. Twist that on there really, really good. All right. Got smart that time. I used my tool. All right, so I think I want this in between a little pink. Kind of hanging out there in between my little pinks. Right in here. Okay, now let's add some more greenery. So I have another one of these. We're going to add a little bit more of this. And then we'll look and see if we want to add our ivy. I am going to cut these up this time so I can get them placed exactly where I want them. I'm going to leave this one alone until I figure out where it's going to go. I want to make sure that it gets in my foam really good, so I'm going to put a pick on that one. We got a lot of glue going on in there, and I want to make sure it's going to go through that glue. Okay, but I'm adding some, I'm filling some of this in now. You can see this is a really tall piece. I may bring this one up a little bit and then bring this one over so that we're starting to kind of, it doesn't look so out of place. We may end up trimming that one just a little bit. Remember at the beginning I said we'll shape them how we need them? That's kind of what I'm doing here. We need a piece of this down here, so I'm actually going to cut this, I think. Okay, so I put that piece a little lower down there. Now I have this piece. I think I want it right here. I'm going to cut it so I can get a pick on it. There we go, and I added it right there. It's starting to look pretty. This guy here, I think I'm going to cut this one off. Just to kind of bring it down just a little bit. And then this guy here, we're going to trim trim the bud off, and I want to move him. I got to decide where I want to move him, but I want to move him. So sometimes what looks good in the beginning as you start designing does not look good later on, and you got to tweak it. That's okay. So I'll just move that bud over there. All right, now cottonwood ivy. So I love the ivy. This is the frost. It has the white variegation in it, which I pulled because we already have the variegated greenery here. So I'm going to see if we want to add some of this. I kind of want some trailing greenery down my urn. And that is what the ivy is good for. All right, let me get it in there. I'm going to cut a couple of these bottom leaves off just because they're going to be down in the urn. We don't need them getting in our way down there. And then I have to find a spot in the foam. There it goes. So I can get it to go. And then we're going to shape it how we want it. You kind of just have to bend until you get it like you like it. So I just wrap that around my urn just a little bit. Let's get another piece. And I'm bringing some of that ivy into my arrangement. Okay, now I'm going to go on this side and fill this in. We might need a longer piece, so I'm going to go ahead and get a longer piece from another bush here. And again, I'm going to cut a couple of the bottom leaves off just so they don't get in our way down there. We got a lot of product down in our urn. That's why I was saying I could have probably got away with not putting the moss in there, but you just never know when you're peeking in there if you're going to see it. So I went ahead and just played it safe, but I don't think you're going to see a single thing down in there. We got a lot of product on this one. Okay, so we're just filling it in now with some of this ivy. And if you're not a fan of the ivy, you can just either use another greenery, use more of the Schefflera, or however you say that greenery. Putting some, and I kind of bent it so that it's coming out. I want a little bit of movement there. So again, same thing, just kind of greening around the bottom. We have a hole right here, so we're going to get a taller piece to go down in there. And don't throw your little leaves away. If you're working on a smaller arrangement, you can take and put these little leaves on a pick, and they tuck around the bottom of your arrangements really nicely. Use them as filler, help hide some of your mechanics. So hang on to those leaves. And on this container, I should have filled my foam a little bit higher into my container. I didn't, so I'm having to kind of go way down in there to get that foam. Had I filled it a little higher, it would have been a little easier. Okay, so I have a piece that I tucked kind of more in the center. We're still going to add another piece down around the bottom. Kind of all the way around, but what I put on the bottom of my arrangements I also incorporate into my designs. So I teach that in my private design group. We really focus on that. You can get more information about that in our, yeah, my pick just came off. In the description of this tutorial, there will be information on our designer circle group. You do get a 20% discount on product, as well as private tutorials, live Q&As, feedback, critiques, bonus tips and tricks, all the things over there. Okay, I'm going to do probably one more piece over here. And of course you can design this however you like. Use as much or little product as you like. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of shape my florals a little bit. Bend things down and out. And get them just like you like them. That's the good part about working with silk florals versus real florals. The real florals are a little harder to manipulate. You got to use wire, and they're a little harder to work with. Silk florals most of them have pretty nice wires on them, so you can kind of move them around like you want. It's hard for me to tell just standing here what we're missing. That's where taking photo comes in. I think we need another piece of this ivy here. Photos come in, you can see kind of where you need to tweak things. I'm going to get this in here first and then I'll cut it, because it's becoming more and more difficult to get down in that foam. I think I want a little. Another little piece on this side, so we don't just have one drapey. And I just kind of intertwine those so it's a little thicker now. And I still think I want one more little kind of piece, little hanging down a little bit further back here. Okay, I feel like we need a piece right here kind of coming out to fill our shape in a little bit. So I don't have another long piece. So I'm either going to wire this or tape this onto one of these branches, or we're going to do our little trick with the floral wire or the floral tape. Okay, let me get another stem. Making sure I heard that crunch. And then another little trick, you can take a little leaf. If any of your floral tape is showing, you can just glue your little leaf to that tape, which is what we're going to do. Because I have just the little top piece of my tape is showing. So we're just going to glue that right onto our tape. Now we do not even see it. Okay, I think we are done. I am going to take a picture of it. If anything looks off, our shape looks off, if this looks too high, we'll tweak it. This is kind of like our little thriller piece up here. Just give it a bend down just a little bit so it's not quite as tall. But if anything needs tweaking after I take some photographs of it, I will tweak it. But there we have a beautiful little centerpiece, perfect for a mantle, a buffet table, end table, coffee table, all the things. Perfect for Mother's Day or an event. I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, bye y'all.